The content you're about to enjoy comes from the archives of The Best You. We're devoted to the very best in personal development, with a magazine and resources dedicated to inspiring and changing people's lives. At The Best You, we work with the world's leading writers and trainers on the evolution of the self, and people whose journeys have been affected by their work and words. For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co. My guest, Mathew Knowles, has arrived and he's here to discuss amazing subjects of his expertise, and I just can't wait to get through it. It's inspiring people with Mathew Knowles. Mathew, I'm going to bring you in. Hope everything is good with you.
Hey, Bernardo.
There you are. How are you?
Good. I'm always impressed with technology. I'm in San Diego, California. Where are you?
I'm in Northern Ireland.
And we're able to do this. It's always amazing to me.
I know, and it's streaming to our virtual event, and it's also streaming to Roku, and it will be automatically recorded. So those that are watching, that want to watch it tomorrow, can also watch it tomorrow. So it is amazing. So Mathew, I'm going to do a very brief introduction to you because you've done so many amazing things. But Mathew is an author, professor, lecturer, public speaker, entrepreneur, music executive, artist manager, fighter, and survivor would be the words used to sum him up. In his life and career. He's a PhD, and Knowles is widely recognized in the entertainment industry for the effective approach in developing and promoting award-winning artists. As founder of Music World Entertainment and Artist Management, he has served as an executive producer for more than 100 award-winning platinum and gold albums in multiple genres, including pop, R&B, gospel, dance, and country, as well as the soundtracks and special themes projects. Record sales have exceeded more than 450 million worldwide, with work featuring some of the biggest names in the music industry, which some of them I've been dancing since I remember the age. You can start officially dancing, like Chaka Khan, Earth, Wind and Fire, the OJs, Destiny's Child, Solange and Beyonce, just to name a few. He's traveled all over the world as a keynote speaker, although less like all of us now at the moment. He's a guest lecturer and a panelist at various prestigious universities and organizations. And at Harvard University, he has featured as a panelist at the opening night of the Black Institutions and Race Futures Symposium. So, Mathew, what a phenomenal career. I had the pleasure just a couple of hours ago in having, Mr. Les Brown sharing the stage here, and his wisdom and his knowledge. And I was embracing him and his career. But what about you? Wow, what a legacy.
Well, thank you, Bernardo. I'm extremely grateful. I didn't do it by myself. It was a team approach. But I'm really excited to sit here with you today and just have a conversation.
Brilliant. Well, look, there's so many things to ask you. And obviously, I know you're going to be talking tomorrow to our audience. Now, there's a lot of things that I obviously want to ask you. One of them is about who or what circumstances made you who you are today, and everything that you managed to achieve. What were those circumstances, or how are you, or who are you today, and what actually happened in order for you to do that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I always say I share my humble beginnings growing up in a little small town, rural town in Gaston, Alabama, back in the 50s, early 50s. I was born in 1952. Bernardo, I lived on a dirt road with an outdoor bathroom facility. That's my beginnings. But my parents are who mentored me, my earliest and first mentors in entrepreneurship, but in life, and giving back, and also just being kind. I always say one word explain my father. He was a big man. He was 6'5", almost 400 pounds. But one word would describe him: gentle. He was gentle, and he gave back. He was a volunteer fireman. He gave back. So that's my early beginnings, humble beginnings. My grandparents were on both my mom and dad's side were entrepreneurs. My parents were entrepreneurs, and it gave me that entrepreneurial spirit.
And so many people, and obviously you've managed to find, to embrace, to bring the best out of talent. But I asked myself, and I asked a lot of my guests over the years, is what does it take? Because there's a lot of people that have the talent within them. They know they have it, and they know what they want to do from an early age. Some people take time. It takes time, because of circumstances, because of, I don't know, life throws a coronavirus at you and all of a sudden you're going to do something else. But other people, unfortunately, never find that gift that they have. How have you been able to identify that and bring it out of people when they probably, and maybe in some cases, didn't even know?
Well, first and foremost, I want to make sure, Bernardo, it's their passion. And often it's a hobby rather than a passion. I love to go on the boat, but I don't think about it day and night, and I don't wake up in the morning thinking about it or go to sleep at night thinking about I'm going to be on the boat tomorrow. But that's not my passion. I thought about this event last night. I thought about this event this morning because this is my passion. And so first I help others identify their passion. And what is that? And hopefully they identify it at an early age. That's the part of parenting that we should be doing, is helping our kids identify their passion and surround them with all the tools that they need to be successful. But that's what I really do in artist development. When I'm in the classroom, I always say I teach critical thinking first and foremost, then whatever the topic of the class is. But those are the things that I look for in people, that passion, that excitement, that wanting to be the very best, because what goes along with passion, as you know, is work ethics.
I was just about to say that a lot of people think that these bands and it's a one-day wonder, but people don't see the hours in the studio, the practices, and that work ethic. And that's what it's down to, isn't it?
That's exactly right. I typically, I always say, people, well, how long is it going to take? Well, from the moment you start to the time that you are ready is about 6 years. I've actually been able to quantify it. Now I've done this for 30 years and over 10,000 hours. It takes about 6 years from the moment you start to the moment you're ready. And by ready, I mean ready to get a record deal. And you're still constantly developing as an artist. And even as an entrepreneur, you're constantly developing. What differentiates you? That's what we look for. We don't need another Beyonce. We need someone to have their own sound so that when we hear them, we can identify quickly who that is.
And I suppose when I see your career, and I want to talk to you obviously about what you're doing, well, what you're very passionate about, coaching and mentoring people. But I wanted to ask you, when you've worked with so many great bands, I mean, I was a massive fan of Earth, Wind and Fire. I've had every album, Kool and the Gang. I mean, that's just phenomenal. What got you to get into music and to identify their talent and to get them to stand out? Because obviously there was a lot of bands that didn't make it along the way.
It is said that we live in a world our questions create. And it's true. Those that have succeeded in life, those that stand out, those that have made a difference, those that are inventing, those that are exploring, pushing the boundaries of reality are based on those that have asked themselves empowering questions. In my new book, The Question, Find Your True Purpose, I help you find your true purpose, find your legacy. For more information, go to www.thequestion.co. If you're interested in working with me, contributing, speaking at any of our many events, partnering or licensing The Best You, for more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.
Well, how I got into the music industry, his story, I always call it, his story would lead you to believe that I left Xerox Corporation and went into the music industry because of Beyonce. That's not accurate. So now every chance I get to tell my story. I was in corporate America for 20 years, and this thing called managed care, as we all understand it, tells us how long we can be in a hospital, how much money we can spend on the medical procedure and drugs and et cetera. That began, and I no longer wanted to sell cost. And I knew I was no longer passionate. And so one day, a defining moment happened, and I said, I can't do this anymore. And I had to start identifying what was I passionate about. When I was a kid, my dad, he started out making me do it. On Sundays, they would go into the living room after Sunday dinner, and they would just dance. And they had this old record player, and it had the vinyl, but it had a lot of scratches on it. And my dad would give me a dime, a nickel, and a quarter, and he'd be like, boy, I don't want, while I'm dancing, that record to scratch. So I began to, study. I began to read the liner notes. I began to I could tell what mood my dad was in on Sundays. So I knew maybe I should start with an up-tempo. Maybe I should start with I Found My Thrill, by Fats Domino, one of his favorites. Not knowing at a young kid that I was actually being a BJ and had established my own playlists. So I've always loved music. My mother, she made me take piano lessons. I didn't want to take them, but she made me. Now I'm happy she did. I'm not very good at it, but at least I can hear chords in my head. So those were the things that got me into the music industry. And when I had to make that decision of what was my next passion and identify it, it was music. And at the same time, Beyonce's girl group, they were small. They were 12 years old, 11, 12 years old. They lost on Star Search, which is like losing on American Idol today. And both of these things happened within about 30-day time period. So I think it was meant to be.
Absolutely. Are you a great believer in that? Because obviously I think with time I've really learned how, serendipity and how things happen for a reason. But more importantly, I've started to learn how to connect the dots, how things happen for a reason. And it is the important thing is to be able to identify. I think I say a lot of times opportunities come to people that are like the size of petrol tankers and they just can't see it and they walk around them. And that's what a good coach and a mentor does. But isn't that it? Is finding those opportunities and following them through, isn't it?
Well, you're exactly right. And a lot of people don't understand when that window of opportunity goes up. Sometimes and often they're not prepared. And as a result of not being prepared, and sometimes they don't even know the window just went up. They can't identify. So it's those things that we have to understand in life. I believe the universe gives that type and sort of energies that gives all of us those opportunities. Yet we must and have to be prepared when those opportunities come.
And what does success mean to you? Because success, I believe, means many different things to many different people. And I know success for many people means financial success, but ideally, obviously, and with time, we appreciate that it is. And what does success mean to you? How do you measure success, or how do you advise people that you coach what success is?
Well, I'm 68 years old. What success meant to me at 28 and what it meant at 48 is different now at 68. Success used to mean when I was younger in corporate America, being the number one sales rep. And I was able to accomplish that with the medical division of Xerox, worldwide being the number one sales rep, 3 years actually. When I got in the music industry, success meant my artists, winning those awards, every award you can imagine, having number one records, being on the top of the charts. That was my measurement of success. Now it's totally, totally different. Success for me is all of those years, I worked so hard to get at the top of the charts. As you said, a lot of people, it's about money. I was fortunate to make money. But now today, success is, I want to put that same amount of happiness, a same amount of work into happiness. That's my measurement of success today, is happiness each and every day. And I get that when I live my passion, when I do right by others, and when I help another fellow man. That's how I reach my level of happiness. It's no longer what it used to be.
Exactly. It changes with time, quite rightly. And having done and achieved so many things, I think a lot of the times, and being an entrepreneur, and I've had my ups and downs, and I've had my good and shiny moments. I think a lot of the times we don't maybe necessarily embrace or smell the roses, as they say. What are you most proud of? And because you've done a lot of many things, and looking back now, what are you most proud of?
I'm most proud that Solange and Beyonce, my two daughters, not all of their awards, and they have many, but I'm most proud of their give back to the community. I'm most proud of their humbleness. I'm most proud that they would be as respectful to the janitor as they would to the President of the United States. That makes me very, very proud of both of them.
Yeah, and it comes across. So kudos to you. With a lot of the work that you're doing now, I know you're focusing on coaching and mentoring, helping people to stand out and to find their light. What do you enjoy most about teaching and educating others?
Well, I love being around young people. Always have. They keep me young. They keep me fresh. I love that excitement that they bring. I love that wanting to learn. And that excites me. That's the passion that I feel when I'm able to motivate them in entrepreneurship or music business. And again, as I said earlier, give them that basic fundamental of understanding critical thinking, how to be a problem solver. So I enjoy that. I look forward to one day, and it's beginning to happen. Some of my students are beginning to have successes. So that's the second half of being a professor, is seeing your students become successful and watching from afar. So I enjoy all of that.
To find out about my latest projects, get a free coaching lesson, or download my book, go to www.bernardo-moya.com.
And what's next? What's next for you? Obviously, you're a best-selling author, and you've inspired a lot of people along the way. What are you working on next? What excites you now?
What I'm doing right now excites me, because we have a lot to talk about right now. We have a world that's in disarray, and especially the U.S. is in disarray. When we look at racism, when we look at homelessness, we look at the coronavirus, unemployment. We have a lot to talk about today, and I enjoy it. Some days I'm on Zoom calls 7, 8 per day, and I enjoy that. I still get that sense of excitement. I haven't lost that. So I enjoy reading. I enjoy writing. I'm working on other books. We just opened Music World Film and TV. So there's some documentaries of some of my books we're working on. The Destiny's Child documentary we're working on. So we're looking forward to those. And I'm looking forward just to continue to live my passion. That's what I look forward to.
Well, as you said, there's so many things to talk about. I think the idea, obviously, around the best you is to really encourage and push people to become their best version of themselves. And I normally say that we're obliged to become the best version of ourselves. I think a lot of people don't take responsibility in leaving something behind. And I was disputing before, and I was actually speaking with Les about legacy, and people don't understanding that a legacy can be left by simply educating your children to be aware of racism, to be aware of being conscious, to being aware of the environment and taking care of the environment. I'm hoping that what is happening now when we're all connected online, that we really start having the conversations, but most importantly, that people start taking these steps forward, because I don't want to talk politics, but in general, it looks like we need new leaders.
Well, I'm going to talk about leadership tomorrow, and what are some of the traits of leadership, because you're absolutely right. It starts right there when you put a team together, regardless of what type of team. And sometimes it's family. Sometimes it's a business. You need that leadership. That's where it starts. And we're lacking in leadership right now in many, many areas. So I look forward to having that dialogue and conversation tomorrow.
So absolutely. Leadership is something that I think is necessary. So with more depth, you're obviously going to be speaking with us tomorrow. We've still got a few more minutes. What can we dig into regarding your talk, and most importantly, the whole emphasis of the event as well is to really emphasize coaching, mentorship, and finding and seeking advice. I think a lot of people struggle with seeking advice. I know, obviously, yourself, you're very knowledgeable and you're very generous with your time. But so are other leaders. And I think people struggle to identify that people are there to help if you ask, if only you ask.
Well, everyone has their unique deliveries. I just like to keep it real and just have a conversation. I'm not the type of speaker that's yelling and screaming. That's not my style. I'm more of an intellectual. I want to get inside of your mind. I hope that I can leave valuable tools, even if it's just one. So tomorrow we're really talking about my first book, The DNA of Achievers, 10 Traits of Highly Successful Professionals. And I've been all over the world many times, and I've had an opportunity on the planes and flying in various areas to talk with highly successful people that I didn't even know them. But similarly, with everyone I spoke with, these traits that kept coming back. Traits like passion, traits like work ethics, risk takers, visionaries, building a team, talk to do ratio, and others. And I thought I'd just write a book about it. I said, I keep hearing this over and over. I think I'll write about these 10 traits. And so I'm a research guy. I love the research. And I had some guests. I love to have others in my books. That's my style as an author. And so in these chapters, some highly successful people that talk about their success, how they started. Some started just like me. I always use myself as an example. I started on a dirt road with an outside bathroom facility. My parents were poor. My parents, neither one graduated from a high school. I had every excuse to say, this is why I couldn't. I had every excuse to be a victim. Boy, everybody wants to be a victim. Or could I overcome those adversities? Could I see opportunities in those adversities? That's what we'll talk about. And that's the energy I get. I'm getting that energy right now. I feel it. I'm getting that energy. Here it comes.
Brilliant.
But, that's what I bring. It's just my life story. And in my vulnerability, and when I speak, I'm very vulnerable. I always believe in my vulnerability lies my safety. And I think people can see through when you're not real. And I just keep it real.
Yeah. Keeping it real is very important. I say this with love to a lot of people, that they should read their own books because on their books, they're amazing. And then unfortunately, they're not walking their talk. And I think as a successful entrepreneur and as someone that is obviously creative. I mean, failure is part of growth, and failure is not achieving what you want to achieve, maybe the time that you want to achieve it, because you're going to achieve bigger greatness afterwards. And I think that's the challenge. A lot of people want to do it quickly. They want that success to happen overnight.
Well, I call it microwave success. We live in an age today that a lot of people want to put it in a microwave and pop it out in minutes. Unfortunately, that's not how success works. And you said a very valuable, I have a whole chapter dedicated to learning from failure. And I have a big, huge surprise tomorrow when I get to that chapter of learning from failure. I'm not going to give it away today, but hopefully everybody that's watching it now will be there tomorrow. Absolutely
they will. Well, Mathew, thank you so much. We're so excited and so delighted to have you here, and for you to honor us with your presence and your knowledge and your wisdom. And I know tomorrow, not only you've got a great talk, but you've got a nice little surprise for us. So we're very excited about that. And for any of you that want to find out more about, obviously, Mathew, well, there's information in his booth. You can, and obviously, sign up to the talk, and we'll be sharing this recording today and tomorrow. So anything else you wanted to add, Mathew?
Only that I look forward to seeing everyone. I also look forward to hearing what I'm going to say tomorrow, because I always laugh and say, I get into the moment and there's an energy. And I've learned that even with digitalization and online, I can feel the energy of the audience. I was really concerned about that. And I taught my first online school class, but I actually feel that energy. I feel your energy right now. It's coming through to me. So I look forward to talking with everyone tomorrow and feeling that energy, and hopefully sharing information that can help in personal goals and aspirations and career goals and aspirations.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Mathew. Thank you so much. And everyone watching here today, well, thank you, Mathew. He's going to be joining us tomorrow at the Best Year Expo live, and it's going to be amazing. Mathew, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you.
For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.